Hey all, happy Monday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. All right, we are working on the ABC stitch along, and we are going to start the letter T for turtle tonight. And we're going to trace this one on because I think we're going to do something else for the shell. So tonight we'll try and get as far on the outside, the outlines, and then the rest of the week we'll be working on some prettiness for inside the shell. So, all right, let's get going. Okay, so here we are. We're already on the letter T for this project, for the ABC project, the quilt. We got the S, which was the seahorse done last week. And I wanted to try something a little bit different for this one this week. So this was Jenna's idea. She thought it'd be fun to maybe do a different design on the inside. We could do a whole bunch of like fancy flowers. So like big roses and some leaves. So a bunch of embroidery that we haven't really done much of before. So what I'd like to do tonight is trace this on to my fabric and then start stitching all these outlines. And then tomorrow we can get our our whiteboard out and draw some designs, and I'll have like how-tos for some of the different flowers and leaves and stuff that we can do. So I think that might be fun. So tonight though, let's trace this and get some of the outlines done. So I do have the iron-on one. This is what we usually use, but I'm not doing it this time because, like I said, I want this whole area to be blank. I suppose I could cut this out and still use the iron-on, but we are gonna just trace it because with these simple designs, that is easy peasy, and I'm doing it on this, like see-through-ish fabric, this muslin, which is see-through enough. I'm not quite sure how to get moderators set up on here, so I have to figure out how to do that yet. But all right, let's, I'm using my water-soluble marking pen here. Oh, Linda's wondering why I don't get Facebook notifications anymore. You might have to tell it to do that again. I don't know if you do that by like clicking the three dots and, I don't know, then getting notified. Actually, I think you can do that if you go to the Penguin and Fish page. I think you can, there's like a pull down menu for getting notifications, so I don't know. Every once in a while, Facebook just redoes all its stuff, and then you don't know what's going on anymore. All right, so I don't know if you can see all that well, but I am tracing it. It'll be like this blue line when I'm done. I think I want to keep the scallop edge. That's kind of cute. But then the rest of the turtle will fill in with flowers and a bunch of other stuff that we can kind of draw out. We'll just design it. We're gonna like do a little floral design on the inside of him, I think, and try out some different flower techniques. So I'd love to hear if anyone else is doing this whole alphabet, like what letter you're on and how that's going for you. It was fun. We started doing on Friday. I think it was Friday, right? We started doing some hand quilting of one of the blocks again, so that was kind of neat. All right, let's get. Oh, did I get that leg? I think I got this leg already, but let's go over it again. After I move the design underneath, I might have to trace over some of these bits again, just to make sure I can see them. I don't think outlining will take all that long, especially if we don't do all the scallops on the inside. Ooh, I finally made that beef stew, beef soup tonight. It just required like cutting vegetables, and I just wasn't up for cutting vegetables over the weekend, so finally got that done tonight with that beef stock that I made last week, and ugh, it was tasty. I put a little bit more spice in than what I usually do. It was a little hotter than what I'm used to, but it was yummy. I'm gonna have some more, I think, when we're done here. All right, so there's a little kind of cute little lines here. All right, and let's get the letters on too, and then I think we'll be good. And like I said, that all those scallops, that's what we're not gonna have. So I did not tape anything down. Sometimes this is a lot easier if you do tape down your design to like your window or just table like what I'm doing, and then tape the fabric down. But I know that this is just gonna be easy to trace and quick to trace, so I'm not too worried about things moving around too much. Okay, and I think that's it. Oh, I'm definitely gonna go. I think I just need a new pen. I think this one's getting a little dried out. So we got to go over these lines a little bit more. I have so many of these pens just sitting around. I should test them all again sometime. It's actually kind of nice that it goes on light. It's not bleeding everywhere. But yeah, just to make sure I can see it for long enough, I'm just gonna scratch over the top of these again. Ooh, but I'm excited to try these flowers out. I don't do a lot of like fancy floral stitching, so I'm excited to test out some of these flowers. I'll have to look a bunch up, and then we'll take a look at some of them tomorrow and decide what we want to put where. Draw a little sketch out, get it on here, and then we'll just go to town. We'll just start stitching flowers and a whole flower motif. I think that'll be really, really fun and just fitting for this turtle too. All right, I think that looks great. Oh, yep, got the little tail. He was kind of light on there. Okay, let's get him in the hoop, and we'll get going on this. What are the colors? Let's take a look at. Oh, it's just a whole pile of green, and we put the colors in the actual scallops, which is what I'm not doing the colors for. So I'm kind of okay with just having it be green still. And then when we do the flowers, those can be all different colors when we do that. Like it can just be like a whole bunch of like some of the colors that we have left from our stash here that we're working from. So, all right, but let's just stick with green. We did break out a whole nother thing of green last week. What did we do that for? Oh yeah, with the seahorse we had some green in, and we needed a new thing. So that'll work perfect for the turtle, and we'll just crank out this outline today, and then we can have the rest of the week to play around with these flowers, because they are going to take some time, I think, depending on what we do. Kind of centering it on there, and there, getting the hoop on there. Well, I hope everyone had a lovely weekend. I feel like I got a lot done on Saturday, and then Sunday I was just tired. Watched a lot of TV. Oh, Linda says this one might be a good one with the colored pencils. That's true. We should do another colored pencil one. I don't think we just did the butterfly. What comes after that? Oh, the unicorn is next. Geez, we really don't have a lot of these left, do we? Here's the ones that we have left. We have the unicorn and the viper, which is like a little snake. I actually really like that guy. So that will be, oh gosh, December. Jeez, December is next. I can't believe we're in November. So this will be December's. Although with the holidays, it might be, up in the air. But theoretically, the U and the V will be December. I can't believe we're gonna be in the freaking new year here, people. So WX, we got an X-ray fish, which is just basically a goldfish, but I put a little skeleton in them. That would have been a good one for Halloween. But anyway, so whale, and the X-ray fish, and then so that would be like January, and then February would be Y and Z. So the yak and the zebra. Man, 6 left, you guys. How did we do this whole entire alphabet? That is amazing. Man, just a little bit here and there throughout the year, and we got it. That's crazy. All right, let's get this green going. We're gonna do 3 strands, like the rest of what we've been doing. Let's get our little needle minder on here though first. Ooh, stuck there. You can live. Maybe you can live right there. That's good. Okay, now get my skizzers out here. Let's cut about 24 inches or so. I should wrap this on one of our bobbins, but for now, we'll just let it hang out like that. Ooh, GA, I have lots of videos over at penguinandfish.com, and I'm here every single evening stitching. So, happy to go through things. All right, so I am going to use, first of all, I'm using 6-strand embroidery floss. Let's start there. And I'm only going to use 3 strands out of the 6. So 6-strand embroidery floss is meant to be able to separate easily. And the reason for that is then you can stitch with different amounts of thread, which makes your lines thicker or thinner. So I like using 3. So I'm going to just bop the top here just to kind of separate them. And I'm going to pull them out one at a time. So 1. And I'm just going to run my hand through there. And let's grab another. I find this is the fastest way to separate threads. I know you can pull like 3 strands from either side, but that I feel like I end up with more of a mess than I do this way. So 3. Then I'm going to set this aside for later. And we'll get these guys back together here. Ooh, yeah, I got the new nails on. So this is not the dip nail. I decided that I didn't want to deal with all that. Well, that's what I did this weekend. I did that on Saturday. So I just did lacquer nails again. And I figure, maybe I'll do the lacquer nails for a couple weeks, and then like right before Thanksgiving or something, do them with the dip nail again. But I needed a break from that just a little bit. It's just such a process. I didn't want to do all that this weekend. All right, got my needle threaded. So I like starting without any knots on the back. That way my thread isn't catching on knots and that sort of thing. So I end up with a much cleaner back. But so what I do is I weave in my thread into the backs of stitches that already exist. But that I can't do because I don't have any stitches on. So we're gonna make we're making like a holding area for some floss that we can weave in later. So what I'm gonna do is tie a knot. This is called an away knot when I do this, and I don't know, where should we start? Should we just start? Let's start at the tail. So I'm gonna actually come from the front about 4 inches away from my starting point and away from where I wanna stitch. I know this is a little weird starting out, but I'll show you why I do it. So I'm basically reserving a piece of thread like this that I will use later to weave in, and that way I won't have any knots on the back, and that'll make sense once we get going. Oh, perpetually worried. Thanks so much. They say you have my intense gratitude for that thread pulling method. I've had so many knots pulling 3. Oh yeah, and yeah, especially if you're starting with a longer piece of thread, that can totally wind up and get totally tangled if you're trying to pull 3 out, and which is what I always used to do too. just trying to pull like the 3, like, 3 on this side and 3 on this side. But yeah, if it wraps around itself, then it's a whole mess. So this method of just like holding it between your fingers and pulling them one at a time, it only works if you pull it one at a time. Don't try pulling 2 at once. It'll get jacked. So yeah, give it a try and see if you like that. All right, we are going to start with a back stitch here. So I'm going to go along the tail, and then I think I'm just going to cut all the way across to here. And I don't know, the legs are kind of, I don't know, maybe I'll pick up the legs as I go. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what my path is going to be here yet, but I kind of want to just go all the way across. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to figure out my path. I'm gonna do that because then I can feel like I got a lot done right away, getting that head in and stuff. So anyway, so for the back stitch, you're actually starting a stitch length away from where you want to start. So my line is gonna start here at the tail, and I'm gonna go this way and then across. But I came up. You can see I came up for my first stitch, like a stitch length away, which is about 1/8 of an inch or so. In this case, it can vary, whatever is comfortable for you is a good stitch length. But anyway, so I came up a stitch length away, and then I'm gonna go backwards along my line to the real starting point. So backwards along my line, and I'm gonna go down right there. That's my first stitch for the back stitch. Second, I'm gonna come up a stitch length away from where I started before. And then I'm going to go backwards along the line again, and I'm going to go in that exact same hole as where I started. Oh, I got a fuzzle and cotton there. And there we go. So I got my first 2 stitches. They look like little cute little beads, I think. All right, next stitch, I'm going to come up a stitch length away. This is going to be the end of my tail here. So I've kind of like mentally divided this line into thirds. And that's like kind of the length of the stitch. And there's my third little back stitch. So now I'm going to continue along this line. So I'm going to start like a stitch length away from the start and go backwards. Go right in that same hole as the other stitch. And now I'm just going to cruise across. Ooh, I think I got a little knot. I'm going to cruise across that bottom line. Oh, so you guys, since we got one of these knots here, this is a totally common knot when you're embroidering. You get this little loop, and all it is some other thread wrapped itself around the loop and is kind of like choking itself, basically. So the way that I like getting rid of these, doesn't always work, but it sometimes does. I like putting my needle inside that loop, and I just kind of pull up, and I pull on one side, like one thread here or the other thread here. One will make that knot tighter, and one will make the knot go up to the needle. You want to find the one that brings it up to the needle, and I think it's this one. There we go. Now my knot's right up against that needle, and at that point I can take the needle out and just pull the threads, and they'll just pop right out. And then you can pull it the rest of the way through. So pretty early to get one of those knots, but it happens. So all right, let's just shimmy sham down this line here. I'm excited for tomorrow, though. We're gonna do all sorts of really fun flowers on here. I literally have to look up how to do them, though. It's been ages, and some I haven't even tried. But like, I want to do like the wagon wheel one. That's where you like stitch like some big long stitches, and then you kind of like weave around those spokes, and it looks like a really pretty like rose. I have a feeling we're gonna use up a whole lot of floss playing with these different flowers, but I think it'll be fun. I want to do one of those leaves where you put a pin in your fabric, and then you kind of like go up to the pin, and then you like weave in back and forth, and then it's like this floating little leaf when you're done. I forget what that one's called, but I think that will be I want to do a couple of those. So we're gonna experiment with flowers tomorrow, and we're just gonna like fill this whole thing. So I don't know if I want to just like fill it randomly with flowers, the shell, or if we should like do like a motif, like maybe it's heavy back here and it gets like lighter and lighter as we go outward or something. I don't know. We'll have to play around with design and stuff, but I want to like look at some of those different flowers tomorrow. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to look for that yet, but I want to look at those, and then we can use those as like our starting point for design, and then we can sketch out on our little whiteboard on where we might want to try some of those, and then we'll get it on here. So we're going to do some designing tomorrow. That'll be fun. Theoretically, it depends how far we get on on this outline, because theoretically I want to finish this outline first, but I suppose we can still play around without finishing this. So if we can get like the head in and the shell, that might be good enough to like start playing around with the flowers. Gosh, we're almost halfway done with this live already. So if you're new here, I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday, and then I go for about an hour, so it's still like 9:30. Oh, and we had a time change too, you guys. So I don't know if our Aussie people have figured that out here yet. It's always a little trick this time of year, because I think we're on an hour later for everyone else since we hopped back. We fell back. God, I forgot about that already. Maybe that's why I was so, like, I was just tired and I was off yesterday. I got up super early. I was like, I got up early. I'm gonna get tons of stuff done. I had coffee, and I think I even rode bike. I was doing good. I was starting to ride the bike again. And then I'm like, ugh, I'm tired. I gotta go back to bed. So I like took a nap back in bed for like a couple hours and then got up again. So that's gotta be all time change shenanigans. It's always such a, I don't know, not fun transition. It was so dark this morning and dark early, and I don't know. See how it goes. But yeah, so I'm here 8:30 to 9:30, and we've been doing a lot of embroidery this year. Next week we'll be doing the embroidery of the month, which is this little feller here, our winter panda. I said winter, I combined winter and panda together. But we'll be working on him next week. So the first 2 weeks of the month we work on this ABC quilt though. So last week we did the letter S, which was the seahorse. Dang, second week of November. All right. I just want to crank out all this green. I'm almost done with my first strand, or my first like bit of floss already. So I'll show you this whole beginning thing. We did this away knot. This is like our on reserve thread here. That will make sense in a sec. We'll address that as soon as we finish up this. All right, I think we'll do like one more stitch here. We might be able to get one more. Yeah, we'll force one more stitch out of this. Little turtle. Okay. So, like I said earlier, I don't like having knots on the back of my embroidery, just because I really hate when the little end of the knot, so like when this little bit, I hate when that pulls to the front, like if you accidentally grab it. That's annoying. And I also don't like when my thread catches on the knot. So I could be like stitching and a whole big giant loop caught on a knot that I didn't know about. And now I got like this crazy mess on the back. So I find that like by eliminating the knots, immediately the back of my embroidery becomes cleaner and I get to avoid those things that are annoying. And so what I do is like when I get, about that much thread left, I will weave it into the backs of some existing stitches. That's easy with a back stitch because it has like a lot of nice stitches on the back. And I go 3 times, 3 passes. So this is the second pass, and then the third pass kind of locks it in. And the other nice thing is you can trim it real close to your other stitches. There you go. So I don't have any like loofs hanging out or anything like that. It's just nice and clean. All right, so I'm going to come back to our little on reserve piece of thread. And again, why we did this is because I don't like starting with knots, but I didn't have any stitches yet to weave into the back, so we're reserving a little portion to weave in now. So this is it's called an away knot because we're like putting a knot out of the way. And it's also called it's a type of waist knot, which means we're only temporarily having it there and getting rid of it. And there we go. So we have our little on reserve piece of thread, and now I'm going to weave that in as well to the back of the stitches. 8:56 now. Yep. So I'm Central Time too, Renee. So yeah, and then some states, I think there's like actually some counties in some states that don't do the time change, so it's all just a cluster of crazy. All right, so now I'm weaving in this little that away knot thread. 1, 2. Try and get that third pass. All right. So there we are, and our first bit of floss there. So here is the leftover from when we separated our 6 strands into 3. So this is the other 3. So it is a little twisty. You can pull the strands out again, and then your thread will be a little less twisty. I don't always do that. But just to show you, I'm pulling them out again, one by one here, and then I can put it together again, and ooh, this might be crazy. Okay, we're fine. And it'll just be less twisty. Like these strands will lie next to each other. Instead of just being all twisted around each other, which is nice sometimes. Put my hand through there. Okay. So we're ready to go. And now we do actually have stitches available to us to weave into the back, so we're just gonna we don't need the way knot again. We can just weave into stitches that already exist. All right, and let's do that. So I'm gonna start where I left off. So let's weave into these stitches. And 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and we can just get going right where we left off there. Get the rest of this head in. And then I want to like try and get this big shell. As much as we can get done today on the outline, basically. Ooh, and we are halfway through, so I'm going to say my little reminder of that. If you're watching live, you can get our live special, which is order $20 from penguinandfish.com. And I will throw in a free mystery gift for you. I'm a little behind on orders, but I will catch up on everything tomorrow, you guys. So if you're waiting for your like order notification to go out, it'll all go in the mail tomorrow. So that is on its way. It is funny. I think this is going to be fun because this turtle is such a simple design that when we decorate like the shell, it's going to be really fun. Oh, perpetually worried. You tried pulling the threads out and it worked. Yay! It's especially nice when you are using a different number of threads too. Like if you I know a lot of people like for cross stitch, they like using like 2 strands, and if you want a really thick line, you can use like 4 or 5 strands, or I don't know. But like when you're doing other amounts, you can't just take the 3 and 3 and do. So pulling them one by one like that, you can just make more of a decision of how many strands you want. All right, I'm sort of tempted. I don't think this is a good idea though, because we only have a half hour. I'm tempted to like do this scallop and then like go around the top and then hit these feet right away, but because I like thinking like, how can I go on the path without jumping around? But I think we're gonna start here, which is a little random. Actually, that's super random. Let's do it anyway. I'm gonna just start here just because it's near where I ended, and we're gonna go all the way around the top this way. And maybe I'll get some of these lines in as I go and get these other legs, get the lines, legs, lines, legs, lines, and then we can end on this little scallop. But that'll work. We'll need we'll need more thread before then anyway. So let's get it. Oh man, I got a little knot there. I think it's worked its way out. All right, around the top. Oh, Paula says yes. Actually, waiting for the winter panda. I know that one will be. I'm excited for that. So yeah, so orders. I don't typically go out a little quicker than I did this past week. So, but yeah, so it'll be to you in a couple days. I think. Yeah, if I get everything out tomorrow, you should have it before we get started on it. And if subscribers, if you've subscribed to the embroidery of the month, you should have your kits already, I would like to think. Those got mailed. Oh, yeah, right at the beginning of the month. Oh, Cassie says, I do need to order more things. Oh, man. I did kind of the binge. I do this very occasionally. I mean, now I don't like go out and go clothes shopping anymore, really, but like once every other year or something, I will just like get all the clothes that I need like all at once. So I just got a bunch more like sweatshirts and some pants and socks. Like all my socks had pretty much holes in, so I just got a whole pile more of those, and some different like cardigan things are on their way. So I'm gonna have a whole like fresh wardrobe here soon. But I never like get little things here and there. It's always like, okay, all these things are dead in my closet. I need like, I'm just gonna order what I need all at once. So that was kind of last week was my little binge every other year shopping for clothing situation. So all my ratty old cardigans and stuff are out of here. Theoretically. Socks for sure. Those I got rid of. Although the new cardigans haven't come yet, so I have this one on. I have a sweatshirt on, but dang, I'm still just like, the cold is hitting me, man. I don't know. We probably need new windows to hold in the heat better, but I don't know. I don't like being cold. So we got the 2 long sleeves on again. All right, hey, maybe this thread is gonna get us all the way around this edge here. It would be fabulous if we could finish all this outlining tonight. Then we can start fresh on these flowers tomorrow. And John and I have to wake up early and I think maybe we'll walk to our polling place tomorrow. We were gonna do absentee ballots, but they didn't. I don't know. We signed up for them online, but they never went through, and I don't know. So, we could have done the absentee in person, which is like what our early voting is, but we're like, we'll just go tomorrow. So going on the actual day, bright and early, and maybe get coffee after. That'll be nice. We actually need to get groceries, so I think we'll go vote and then go get groceries. So maybe we will drive actually then. But I'm just hoping it's not packed. All right, just about done with this piece of thread. That got farther than I thought, though. All the way around the top here. I think I could get one more. Then we'll weave in. Oh, you just put yours in the mail today. Nice. All right. Yeah, I wish. I don't know. I don't think we. Oh yeah, we did it. Yeah, last time we must have done it absentee because it was COVID and everything. For the primaries, we went in person too, and there was like no one there. For these primaries, so I don't know. It'll be what it's gonna be. But yeah, we're gonna try and get there early instead of after work. Then it'll probably be super busy. Okay, let's do another bit. Tangled up here. So, all right, another 24 inches or so. Boop. And let's separate into 3 strands again. So let's bop the top just to separate them up so we can see them. And 1, 2. I always have to count. And all right. Let's thread up. All right, and I think we'll just go that path that I was saying. I'll go get this leg, then we'll get some of these verticals, and then get the legs along the way. Yeah. Yep, I think that's still a good plan. Although right here in this little like dining room, this is kind of the first spot that gets heat when the furnace turns on, so I'm actually kind of warm here with the cardigan on. But as soon as I move from this spot, it's gonna be chilly everywhere else. Gosh, it's already 9. Zooming on by today. Ooh, you guys, I get a haircut on Thursday. It's been a while, so and we're trying a new place too, so that'll be interesting. I don't really have a regular hair person at this point, so we're testing people out again, I guess. But yeah, so hopefully Thursday you'll see a cute new haircut. We'll see. I won't be here Friday this week, but haircuts on Thursday, so you'll be able to see on Thursday. I think we'll get pretty far with this. Anyway, oh, I should have well, I don't care. Theoretically, I think I did the stitch over the top here, but theoretically, actually, I might change that. This is a little picky thing. I'm gonna undo this stitch. Let's see if I can do it this way. I'm a little scared doing it this way, but yeah, that didn't work. Okay, fine. I'll take the needle off and let's try and pick this stitch out. I'll show you what I'm thinking right here in a sec. It's a tiny detail, but it's gonna bother me, so. And usually past 9 o'clock, my little perfection bug kicks in, and then these little things like annoy me even more. So if we were like looking at a normal turtle, right? The shell would kind of the legs would be coming out of the shell, right? So we would actually see the line of the shell like crossing over the leg. And what I had just done here is I stitched this leg stitch going over that line of the shell, which physically in real life wouldn't be able to happen, right? It would be underneath that shell like it's going in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tuck underneath that stitch so that the stitch is actually going underneath. And there we go. Now the shell, that stitch line of the shell is actually physically on top of this stitch that I just did here on the leg. So more accurate to real life, and I don't know, makes me feel better. So gotta take out that tiny stitch just to do that. I think that's fine though. This is like so much of the same color. Usually I feel like I don't do like the legs would have been a different color than the shell and stuff, but I think it's because then it would put emphasis on all the different colors in the shell. And we're gonna do that same thing. So it'll put a bunch of different emphasis on all the flowers. Like if we do those, a bunch of fun colors, the shell. We could be really specific with our color palette too. Like we could have a limited color palette or like, a toned down one. Like it could be like grays and pinks or something. I don't know. We will have to think that through tomorrow too after we have some sketches, I think. I'm not always great at thinking of those color palettes beforehand, so I'll have to work on that. Oh, Cassie says, "Oh, good luck." Yeah, for the haircut, I'm a little nervous about that, but we'll see. The problem is I don't like doing my hair, and I don't like it in my face. I feel like I'm doing too much during the day that I can't have it like in my eyeballs, on my face, and just everywhere. So I feel like that, like, and I don't want to spend time styling it and all that because it just goes like limp. It doesn't stay, and I'm just at home, so it's just like ugh. Just let it air dry, and I don't know. So maybe I'll ask about that. Like, what can I do to have this be anything? And maybe I'll get like some sort of like styling wax or something to just run it through a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what they say. Oh, you're getting yours done Saturday by a new person too. Good luck for you too. Yeah, I just air dry and brush it. I just can't. I mean, if I'm going to a wedding or something, I'll like curl it, but I still usually end up putting it in a ponytail, and I don't know if I get it cut, I won't be able to do that theoretically. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I just want it to like be like that wispy, wavy, like natural wave, but not look like like a pile of garbage, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Oh god. That's why I just like cut it super short and just let it grow because I just put it like behind my ears and in a ponytail, and that's not cute. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Have it down for a little bit till I just can't stand it anymore. Well, like if I'm cooking or like I don't want hair getting everywhere, so I always put it up. Anywho, maybe one of these days I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna invest in learning all there is about hair, and we'll style it every day, and it'll be cute. And I don't know. I'm not there for that investment yet. Time investment. Oh man. But it'll be nice to get cut because it needs it for sure. All right, and we're gonna run out of this floss really quick. I was thinking this thread would get us to the end, but I'm pretty positive it's not gonna do that. I might need. I have like the second piece, but I might need a whole thing after that too. This is gonna be kind of a big jump, but we're gonna do it. Jump way over here. Actually, trying a whole new place too. It's still nearby, but we'll see how it goes. Dang, haircut. Even just like a haircut, a trim is just so expensive. It's just like, ugh, for me, not putting any time to doing it. And then, that's why I haven't colored it in a long time either. It's just like the promise of upkeep, and I can't deal with that. This is going to be one long stitch here. And this one will be a bunch of stitches. They were getting there to that other leg though. But yeah, to get that scallop done too. More floss for sure. I gotta get this leg. I almost forgot to do that. That'd be no good. I'll be able to get started on this leg, but I won't be able to finish it with this thread. And then the tees, I'm not gonna worry about now. We'll do that when we're completely done with the turtle. I think we'll let them sit. Uh-oh, I got a knot. There we go. I think we'll get 2 more stitches, and I'll weave this in. And actually, I think I get all the way to the bottom of this foot. Yeah. Okay. Now let's weave in. Actually, I want to do one more. Okay. Now I need to. All right. Flip it around. Back's looking nice still. 1, 2, 3. Come on, guy. There. Okay. And snip. All right, and we got our other 3 strands here. I'm not going to separate them this time. We'll just start like this. And we'll weave in again and just start up right where we left off. All right. Makes it a little bulky on the back, like weaving all that in, but I still like it better than having knots everywhere. Forward. These lines in. And the last leg, and then we can get that scallop. I could have probably done 2 stitches for those, but I think one's just fine. So we won't get that face done yet, but that's okay. Maybe we can squeeze that in tomorrow too. And we'll have these scallops left. I don't think we'll finish all those tonight either. So maybe tomorrow we'll quickly finish the scallops, just that edge here, and then we'll be at a place that we can like start figuring out these flowers. So quick warm up, I guess, tomorrow, and then we'll get to play with some of the fun stuff. Fun florals. And designing where we want them to go. That'll be kind of interesting, I think. All right, so here, this leg too, I'm gonna tuck underneath the shell line instead of doing this leg over the top, just so it looks like that shell is over the top of the leg and not the other way around. So right here, I'm gonna come up, and then I'm just gonna slide underneath that stitch and finish that stitch. And there, now that stitch is underneath the other stitch. Oh, Paula says if you're up early tomorrow a.m., there's a total eclipse of the moon. Really? So like how early? We'll be up. Gosh, it probably will be dark at 7 yet. We'll be up at like I don't know, 6:30ish. Maybe not. Maybe we'll leave at 7 to get there. I mean, it's right down the street, the polling place, so we'll get there at like 7:05. We leave at 7. Oh shoot, I did that thing where I brought my needle up through the thread at some point, and so now it's kind of stuck in there. I gotta get it out. Boo, I hate when that happens. Okay. See if I can even get this. Because I'm gonna pull these other 2 strands out. Do some surgery here. Otherwise I lose all this floss. Oh, I think we got it. Oh, good. Good. Excellent. Needle unstuck. There we go. A little bit of the scallop in and finish it up tomorrow, I think. Just got like 4 minutes left here. We should maybe just go until we're done with this scallop. Actually, I'll probably go until I'm out of thread. I might actually run out of thread before we get this scallop done, which would suck, but that's how it goes. It'll be close. We could do that back stitch then forward stitch thing. That might get us enough thread. Actually, I might have enough. Going. Just like the scallop is just like going to be like a little frame for our flowers, I think. All right, I think I am going to do the thing where I do a back stitch and then a forward stitch because it looks like you're just doing a back stitch. I find it a little annoying to do because you got to like sneak up in here where there's already a stitch, and that's kind of annoying. But if you do a back, and then you have to keep track of which one you did last. But if you do a back stitch and then a forward stitch, you're using way less thread, and it still kind of looks like a back stitch. I mean, it still definitely looks like a back stitch, but I don't know. I find it kind of annoying to do. Actually, now I think I have enough floss so we can make it the rest of this way. Hey, we're gonna finish it. Oh, Paula says around 4 when it begins. Totality in Virginia is 5:30. I think it's later for you. Okay, Virginia. Yeah, we would be an hour before, which would be a later time for that to happen. Yeah, I'll have to Google it. I'll look it up after here because that'd be kind of cool to see. That means I'm gonna have to go to bed right when we're done here. Get up early. I've not been good at getting up early lately. I've been erring on the side of like, I probably need more sleep. So I've been doing it that direction. Although what I have been starting to ride the bike again, the stationary bike, and doing some weight stuff again. So I gotta get up earlier for that. So maybe that's a good motivator. See the flips. All right, 2 more stitches and we're done. So our timing on that was pretty good tonight. I wish I would have gotten the face done too, but like I said, maybe we can sneak that in tomorrow yet. But it'll be fun to work on these flowers for sure. So pretty much the whole outline, not too shabby. All right, let's weave in our end here. I feel good about that. Wasn't sure I'd get this far tonight, especially since we had to trace the design. Oh, Kathy, you could totally do the scallops different colors. So let me show you that design again. So here's the original design. So we do have this. So I have all the scallops on this one different colors. So it was like a lighter green, then yellow, then orange, and then that sequence again. And I think that's really fun. So you can definitely play around with these scallops. We're taking a whole different approach this time around. That's why I traced the design instead of ironed it on, because I wanted to have this whole area without the scallops. And I'm gonna fill this in with like a bunch of different fun flowers and leaves, and we're gonna just play with some different like ways to stitch flowers, I think. Which I have to look up today or tomorrow before coming on. So that'll be fun. We can experiment and play with some like big flowers and leaves and stuff in here. So we're just going to play a little differently. But yeah, if you do the scallops yet, yeah, I think it'd be really fun in different colors. And that's what we originally did here. This would be cool as like a little rainbow thing going on too. That'd be fun. So, all right. I'm feeling pretty good about where we got it here tonight. And yeah. So, okay, you guys. So we'll continue on that tomorrow, and we will work on all the fun flowers. I'm stoked for that. I don't know what they're going to be yet, but that's going to be the part of the fun. We'll kind of like play with the design and stuff and see where it goes. So again, I'll let that the live special go for about another 15 minutes. So order $20 or more from penguinandfish.com. and I will throw in a free mystery gift, and all of that will be mailed tomorrow. Like I said earlier, I'm a little behind on mailings, but they will all go out in tomorrow's mail. So you'll have all your stuffs soon. So thanks again, everyone. Nice to be back here again, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Have a lovely evening. Good night.